At eWells, they are there to guide you through all your real estate needs. So feel free to call 050-158-0464 or send an email to info@ewellsconsult.com. Are you planning for New Year weddings, birthdays, surprise parties? Well, Sophie's Food Bank has got you covered. They cook delicious meals and finger foods, both local and continental. So feel free to call Sophie's Food Bank on 0205-793-951. And make sure you join the Homeowner Show on Metro TV every Saturday at 6 p.m. prompt. And we bring you all the exciting and educative conversations from building and construction in Ghana and beyond. So to sponsor or partner with the Homeowner Show, please call or text 0243-272753. You can also like, comment, and share on Metro TV Ghana or Homeowners TV GH. And for all your questions, because I will be taking your questions, viewers, please make sure you send your questions to this WhatsApp number, 0243-272753. All right, we're going to get into our conversation with my guest this evening, the one and only Mr. Frederick Opoku, Secretary General, National Tenants Union of Ghana. Mr. Opoku, you're welcome.
Fine. Thank you, Hannah. I'm happy to be here once again.
We are excited that you are here. And, you know, the last time he was here, he was celebrating his birthday with us. And, you know, we were so honored to be a part of that milestone. And today he's back because he has some exciting news that you're going to hear it for the first time right here on the Homeowner Show. So, again, we're going to be part of another celebration. Mr. Opoku, what is the good news? What is the major news? What is the exciting news tonight?
Good, very well. First of all, let me take this opportunity once again to thank Metro TV and the Homeowners Show for the opportunity. I know we've been like families, you know, and I'm happy the way you also give me the platform to, you know, take or bring my issues out. I'm so privileged for that. Today, I know you, before we started, have actually introduced me as the Secretary General of the National Tenants Union of Ghana. Yes, a position that I have occupied for the last decade.
Wow.
Yes, and today I am happy to make it official and to publicly announce that my position has changed and that I have been called for national duty and that I really want people to see me differently. And I therefore formally introduce myself as the acting Red Commissioner of the Republic of Ghana. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has finally invoked Section 2 of the Rent Act 220, which for the last 62 years, not had a commissioner.
Wow.
So the visionary president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, have seen the need that we need to sanitize the housing sector so that at least we can bring peace, harmony, and reconciliation between the landlords and tenants. You know, when you come to the issues of rent and landlord issues, it's a bit chaotic. And the president, in his wisdom, and as part of his legacy building, has decided to bring a commissioner to drive his vision, ensuring that the rent law, which people have been crying that is not being enforced, trust me, is going to be enforced fully.
Wow.
Fully. Wow. As the commissioner, administrative head of the rent control today, I can assure the Ghanaian people that the perception of rent control, we will do our best to prove that it has changed. And it will change right under my tenure.
Wow.
I want to assure Ghanaians that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, believes that there must be peace at home. After all, if he is not able to build for all, which is not possible, he will do what he can do at a point. trying to introduce or improve the supply. But he's saying that the law has to be implemented and implemented well. So I'm happy today to thank the president for seeing the need and reposing that confidence in me that Frederick Opoku today, having advocated for a decade and plus, is competent enough to take that responsibility. I've accepted it, and I want to state it clearly today that I want to be referred to as the Rent Commissioner acting of the Republic of Ghana. However, I believe that we're going to have partnership with other associations,
sure.
i.e., I'm praying that there should be a Landlord National Association, as we have the Tenant Association. Now, I'm no more part of them. I've stepped down, and I want to take this platform as well to let Ghanaians know that I have stepped down publicly as Secretary General of the National Tenant Union of Ghana.
Wow.
This would enable me to be a father for all.
Before you get into details of what your mandate is, I want that to sink for a minute. He has just announced that the President of the Republic of Ghana has appointed him as the acting rent commissioner. This position has never been appointed in the history of this nation. For the last 62 years, we have not had this position filled. So this is big news, and this is exciting news. But the next question is, what is your mandate as the acting rent commissioner?
Very well, thank you. Clearly, as been stated in the Rent Act, rent control as an entity has the responsibility of applying and ensuring that they can regulate the law and to ensure that people will follow what the law directs them to do. In simple terms, my responsibility is to ensure that I'm going to help apply the law.
Wow.
And to get it enforced. We needed a commissioner who would take the administrative role of rent control, meaning that rent control since have not had administrative head. And this is the first time they are having it. So I trust and believe that in simple terms, I am in to support and work as a team with my people, rent control team, to make sure that we will be able to do the needful of ensuring that everybody, landlord and tenant, will obey and respect the rules of the game. And that's it, yes. Yeah,
so what are top 3 things that you hope to sort of solve almost immediately? Because the last time you were on, there were some certain issues that you talked about as the Secretary General of the National Tenants Union. So what are some of the top 3 things you have on your priority list that we could look forward to seeing being rectified in the rental market?
Yes, first and foremost, I believe that, and I also share the same, this thing with others, that the rent issues in this country is a bit worrying.
Yeah.
And for me, I think that I wouldn't want to say that it's intentional. People are ignorant about the law. In as much as I want to enforce the law to its, logical conclusion, it is important that from now, within now to about 5 months, intensive education, sensitization, so that before we can apply the law fully, no excuses that I didn't know. Landlords will know what they must do and what they shouldn't do or they cannot do. Likewise, tenants must all do the same. So what I'm trying to establish is that we are going to do intensive education and sensitization so that at least people will understand and know what offenses are there if you don't go by it. Hannah, number 2, the idea is to now completely ensure that we have a modern rent administration, not people joining queue. People have easy means of reporting. People would not be like as it used to be, that they have joint queue at rent control, having access digitally to report their cases and have response quickly as practicable. This is very important.
Well, yes. This is very good, but do you have the resources? The last conversation, I think one of the reasons why rent control wasn't able to enforce based on the conversation was the lack of resources.
Ghana, one thing I can say is that the President of the Republic of Ghana having sat and realized that rent control needs to be retooled, that's why he has brought a commissioner. And it is clear that the president will do everything, and I know he will do, to resource, with the support of my minister, Mr. Gepeteje, has also given the assurance that whatever support the commissioner needs to make it happen, he's going to support me fully. And honestly, I trust and I believe that my minister, Honorable Kenneth J, before assuming this position, we have been very, very good friends as brothers. And I know my minister will not take me where I will not reach. So I can assure you and assure the public that President John Dramani Mahama and my minister will do the needful, ensure that we have the requisite resources to implement it, the work at rent control.
Wonderful. So what I love, which was going to be one of my questions, is the educational rollout. Yes. So how do you plan on doing that? Will you have different people educating them on a weekly, monthly basis? How are you going to educate landlords and tenants?
It will come in phases. We're going to use the social media. I've asked them to create now. Everybody is holding the phone. Yes, 24/7. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot of platforms, social media, all handles that we will be doing short education and translate it in different languages that everybody can actually follow. Number two, we are going to, put ourselves together to have town hall meetings. Town hall meetings where we can engage the landlords. So meaning that we are going to have very deep engagements with landlords and tenants. It's very important. These are the two main, stakeholders that the commissioner and Falamata, the rent control, need to work with. So I can assure you that we're going to have town hall meetings. We're going to use the social media, and we are also going to get the media, get people, talk to the media houses, collaborate with them for our offices across the country to be on radio stations to educate people about the do's and do not do's. That is where we can get everybody to understand what the law says and what it doesn't. All the time I have said that we cannot blame the landlords all the time. They may be ignorant. So this is the time that, as a commissioner, I will lead and ensure that the rent control will take charge. We are going to be proactive, not reactive. We are not going to be called that somebody did like this, what should be done. But we will set the conversation. We are going to set the housing agenda so that people can understand and know what they must do and what they should not do. Hannah, for example, if you visit Section 4 of the PNDC Law 138/1986, it is stated clearly that when you lease a property, after that transaction between landlord and tenant, landlords have 14 days to register their lease and tenancy with the rent control.
And what is the consequence if they don't?
If you do not, we will make sure that we will invite you.
Wow.
That's why I wouldn't want to be so critical on what will happen to you. But right. I am indicating that the law says that if you don't do it within 14 days,
right.
In fact, we are going to set up rent task force inspectors. I call them yellow.
Yellow.
Yes.
Folks, get ready for yellow.
Houses.
Right.
To inquire, to make sure that you have filed, you have registered, you have regularized your agreements. It is very important. Many a time, people lose their property or their home because some of the laws that they even, put together, the tenancy agreement, is inhumane. And so, that it gives some landlords the opportunity to evict a tenant anytime they want to evict.
So will you have standardized tenancy agreements?
Exactly. That's one of the
because otherwise we would run into...
It is 100%.
Okay.
We're going to standardize it. Online, you go there, you can download it everywhere you want to go.
And that is what everybody must use.
If you register your tenancy and it's not like the standardized one, we will not accept it.
But this is for long-term tenancy. Now a lot of investors that are buying properties use it for short-term, Airbnb. So how are you going to deal with those type of tenant situations?
Anything that we classify as rents, whether 2, 3 days or 1 week, it's rents.
And so we'll use the standard form. Okay.
It's about having an agreement that you have to be here 1 week or 3 weeks. You are renting.
Sure. So, folks, you heard it right here on the Homeowner Show. You have exactly 5 months. So you're giving them till June to say that you did not know. After June, it is believed that you do know. And then that is when the Rent Act will be enforced.
100%. Now, as I indicated, those who know me,
yes, Mr.
have
Opoku,
seen my advocacy.
Yeah.
I would want to bring the same energies at rent control. That's why I have so much trust and belief that rent control would have the confidence that it requires. And anything that rent control have lost over the years, I want the Ghanaian people to have confidence in rent control. That Frederick Opoku, as a commissioner of rent control, trust me, it's going to work. And the rent law will work. Look, tenants, be happy. And let us all join hands, both landlords and tenants, to say a very big thank you to His Excellency, the President. This is what some of us were expecting over the years to have been done.
Right.
You cannot have a law that doesn't have a head. You cannot. And trust me.
Well, the rent control was there.
Yes, it was. But administratively, the law states clearly that the rent commissioner is the administrative head. So there are certain things that somebody cannot do if he doesn't have legally the power to do. So as we speak, rent control is a department under the Ministry of Housing. And it's one of the agencies, right, of the ministry.
Right.
It means that as a commissioner, I now have a platform at the ministry level to be part of interactions, negotiations that can bring resources. I need to let the ministry also understand, when I have the chance to be there, that rent control needs A, B, or Z, and that you must provide. Rent control today are in 14 regions. We have 66 offices, which, as part of my vision, I want to see rent control everywhere in the district.
One
so
district,
one
rent control.
This is rent control. 66 is too minimal.
We have 16 regions.
66. 14 regions, 66 offices dotted across the country. My vision is to work with the team, the ministry, my sector minister, and other stakeholders, i.e., MMDAs. In fact, in the few months to come, I'm going to engage one, the IGP, the police, for them to have a buy-in of the commissioner's vision and rent control vision going ahead. Because you cannot do enforcement without the law enforcing agency. So we're going to engage the police so that when we are going for inspections and we find out that you don't do A, B, C, D, we will work it out. Number two, it is important that we must be law-abiding. Law-abiding in the sense that if you're a landlord, there are certain things that you're expected to do in terms of your taxes. In fact, the commissioner of rents will meet the rent general boss and make sure that people also comply their obligations as taxpayers, as landlords, to contribute to the, the rent tax. Hannah, are you aware, as a tenant or a landlord rather, right, you are expected to pay 8% of your income, assuming you collect 10,000 Ghana cedis annually from a tenant. You are supposed to pay 8% yep, as a residential tenant, a landlord transaction. When it's commercial, you are expected to pay 15%. If you are not doing it, now I'm showing a signal that we are going to work with the Judiciary to make sure you also comply. And that if you come to rent control and you have not paid your taxes like that, we are not going to detain you. That is one aspect of that. So people should get it clear. So if you don't pay your rent tax, quickly go there to Judiciary and get it paid. Because very soon, rent control will not absorb you. We will meet the Chief Justice as well, Judiciary, for them to understand, plead, that if people come or bypass the rent control and come there, they cannot defy the taxes and seek the same government agency support for any kind of issue. So we go to the Chief Justice as well. That tells you that we are going to make sure that we do proper engagement and get the interagency enforcement district to come together. We also meet the immigration director Are you not aware that in this country, it is unlawful for a landlord who admits a foreigner into his home without doing proper checks, which is about, does he have a permit to be in Ghana at all in the first place? If he doesn't have the permit to be in Ghana and other documents, then they can commit crime. Don't you see people killing people somewhere else? That cannot be done. So we, as a mother rent regulator or agency, we are going to work with all the agencies to connect with the whole government, framework. It's not about rent control, you didn't pay, or rent advance or whatever, but and also the limits of the 6 months and what have you. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm coming to that, but we're getting a lot of information here, and yes. I want to make sure our viewers understand what's happening. There is a reset in the rent control. We have a new rent commissioner right here, and he's going to be working holistically with the other entities to ensure that the Rent Act is being enforced. So you have the IGP, the Chief Justice, Immigration, and GRA all working together. So folks, you've heard it right here on the Homeowner Show. You have 5 months to claim that you did not know. Yes. Quickly, I want to ask this question. We had this question last time. People's concern is not just taking rent up front for a year, 2 years, in some cases with commercial buildings, it's 5, 10, even 15 years. But the rent charges are quite high. So how are you going to handle that within the sector now, sir?
So we have the same law that regulates commercial properties and residential. There's no difference. But for fair play, if somebody have actually, transact business with a landlord on commercial property, we all know that a lot of investment go into that. So there could be 3 to 5 years agreement, but not pay 5 years. But it will be stated clearly that, okay, you can enter into this agreement 3 to 5 years and pay yearly. You get my point? Then, until 5 years, you can't make any attempt to get a person out. So that we don't necessarily put pressure on businesses. And that's how businesses are crying. And the rent control, as part of the risk set, as you rightly mentioned, we are going to also engage these property owners, to let them understand. In fact, I don't believe in just enforcing laws, but give opportunity, give the platform for people to learn and ask questions and be part of what you do. We want the buy-in of landlords and tenants, not quickly that you have the law in your bosom, so you want to apply the way you want to apply. People revolt because they may not understand what you want to do. That is why I have made my point clear, that as part of what we're going to do at rent control, we are going to do a lot of education. You will come in, go elsewhere, deploy our officers across the country, work and partner other media houses across the country, social education, give us the platform, let us educate the landlord and tenants so that you know clearly what you cannot do, what you can do. And that if you go here and if you do this, it's against the law, and the law will not spare you. I am also pleading to our landlords. I build my property. It is for me. If you cannot occupy, go. I'm begging. I don't want to sound so critical here, but I'm just pleading because the law will be enforced, but it will be enforced at a point where you know what you must do and you don't want to do. So all what I'm saying is that landlords should understand that if you rent your property out, it's for a business, and there are rules around your business. Take the commercial transport. If you go to GPRTU in their stations, you worked your pension pay, whatever, you bought a vehicle, you took it to a GPRTU station. Are you the one to regulate how much you want to take? You regulate it by the law. And because the law is not working, people say, hey, I built it. If you can't, okay. If you can't, you can give it to your wife and your children. You are allowed to do that. So that one can never be an excuse, Hannah, that it is my property. Yes, it is for you. Yes, government will build, like President Mahama is trying to do. build more low-cost housing and bring in and increase the supply. But that does not mean there's shortage. So take advantage of the shortage and try to mess the situation. The law will not allow you to do. Meanwhile, as I indicated, many of them are even doing this and they don't even pay their taxes on rent. But here's the case, Hannah, you want to use your right hand to what? To pick and take it from here. We don't do that. So I am pleading that we need to be educated, which I think that we have to do first. There won't be any enforcement without education.
Right.
So we are going to do intensive education for everyone to know this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do. But if you still insist that it's my property, I will do, then you face the full rigors of the law.
Folks, you heard it right here on the Homeowner Show. We are going to take a break so we can digest all the information that's come. But before we do, let me give you the WhatsApp number for all your questions. 024-3272-72753. I'll take it again. 0243-272753. Please send all your questions in, and when we come back, Mr. Opoku is going to be right here and he's going to answer all your questions. We'll be right back after this short break. From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you're getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge prone transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of the Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family. Talk about enforcement, because when we brought this topic up, a lot of people wanted to find out, how do you enforce it? Because today, for example, as Mr. Opoku mentioned, if the tenancy is for 1 year, you are not to demand more than 6 months. So what will a tenant do? Will they bring you the tenancy agreement and show you that the demand is for 12 months? Is that what we consider demand, or what do we consider demand? We need to make it very clear to our viewers.
Hannah,
yes, sir.
I keep on challenging the Rent Control Department of Ghana.
Right.
That unless you have a hardcore evidence.
What is hardcore evidence?
The truth is that, Hannah, it will be very difficult in this country, okay?
Yes.
To say that landlord wouldn't demand money, and you from your own well, that landlord, I want to pay 3 years, I want to pay 2 years. Now, the cases that always come to us as a union, as an association, I can tell you for sure, it's always about demand.
Right. So let's just take it from there.
Yes.
The landlord has demanded 1 year up front based on the tenancy agreement.
Yes.
They take it to the Rent Control Department. Mr. Opoku, what are your steps? Or they bring it to National Tenants. What do you do?
Mr. Opoku is saying that, if you heard him, that unless you have an evidence.
That is the evidence.
Yes. So the evidence of, no, they really, what they are trying to say is that you had the hardcore evidence to prove. For example,
that is
maybe
the
you
evidence.
come to me, Anna, you come
Yes.
to me, or you're a landlady. I come to you that I want your premises, right? I want your room or whatever. And you say that you need 2 years. Then I have to record you.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's say you did that.
I have to record you.
Right.
Now you are not my tenant. You are not my landlady. You are just a prospective, a potential tenant,
right,
and a potential landlord. Then what they are telling us now is that the tenant now has a responsibility, okay, to now be able to educate the public that the only way the rent control can enforce the law today is for you that if you go to any landlady or landlord, kindly record the landlady.
Viewers,
then after getting the record,
yes,
put it here. Know the name of the landlord, okay, the area, the house number, video, and find ways and means to video or record the landlady. Bring it to us as tenant union.
Yes.
The tenant union will now lead you that to force rent control to act.
Yes. And what will rent control do?
First of all, the law is very clear that anyone who demands rent exceeding 6 months will have to be in prison and pay 25 penalty units, something like that.
Perfect.
Therefore, we need to ensure that we as tenant union have a responsibility today.
Yes.
In fact, our president, John Dramani Mahama, also even alluded that it's like a connivance between the landlord and the tenant. The president, our father, even was very clear. It means that the union and the association, in fact, has a responsibility to make sure that we encourage tenants. If you go and meet any landlord or landlady, kindly recall the landlady because she or he is not your landlady or your tenant, your landlord, and she cannot do you anything. But for us to get some kind of scapegoats, begin recording them, bring it to and call the tenant union. We will even lead you, and we will, because we do solidarity. We will take you to the rent control. That these are the hardcore evidence. This is where the landlord lives.
Yes.
The landlord lives, and today I am begging and pleading to all tenants. Rent control always says that bring evidence. If not, it's a game of evidence, and we are going to force into under their throats to ensure that if not that then if the tenant union doesn't have relevance, honestly, if we can't do that, then we don't have any relevance. Our relevance is to ensure.
Welcome back to the Homeowner Show. You just saw a video clip of our guest, Mr. Frederick Opoku, who was previously the Secretary General of the National Tenants Union. And today on the show, he has announced that he is now the Rent Commissioner. He will be the head of the Rent Control Department. You saw him on the clip. And my question to you is, has your view changed, Mr. Opoku, now that you are the head of Rent Control Department?
It has not changed a bit. Principle is principle. What I am even going to beg the tenant union, which I was part today, to do same. And for me, the position I occupy today does not make me a extra human being. The rent control must be up and doing. And that I still insist that you do as I advised here on Metro TV. So, my dear Hannah, I have never changed any position. I still stand by that.
Well, you've heard it here. Bring evidence. If, in fact, the landlord is requesting more than 6 months, whether it is a residential property or a commercial property, record it, as he said.
Exactly.
Bring evidence and bring it right to rent control.
And more importantly, as we have indicated, we are going to make sure that landlord and tenant register their leases. At first, maybe it wasn't done as expected, but as part one of my very important areas. In fact, by the close of this year, as I said, the first 6 months, we need to sensitize, educate. After 6 months, that's from June, whatever going, July, August there, we are going to apply the rules. If you have not regularized, come and register with the rent control department. Or if you come home and meet you there and ask you where is your registration with your certificates, we are going to give you certificates. Emboss it in front of your building. Yes. If you have 20 tenants in your premises, make sure each one of them, because they come with different tenancy agreements. It's not one. We start with you, come and register so that we know the transaction between you and the tenant, which we have in our archives. So that when you want to unlawfully evict the tenant, we can refer to the document. You remember, the man has not broken the law. Yes, she has broken the law. Unless somebody breaks the law, you cannot arbitrarily say that leave the property. And also the tenant, if you are also abusing the rules of the game, which is the agreement, then we must not detain you.
So where will people go to get their buildings registered? Is it online, or do we have to come?
This is very innovative. Because we want convenience and people should be able to get it done. We're going to work with the MMDAs. Go to your district, you see small, it can be a small kiosk like that. There, we will see it in our communities. You put the structures. Online, you go there, you have the opportunity to do that. So we are going to make sure that nobody can come and tell us that I didn't know or I didn't see it. It is right in your community.
So the form is there to register. Is there a fee to register?
It's a service we are providing. So definitely.
Okay.
We provide services. So we will make sure that it also counts. But it will be reasonable.
All right. So then,
because rent control, we have fees and charges. If we have to take it back to the ministry to recalibrate it, that this is a very important area, what the law asks us to do. But I think it's even already there. It's there. I mean, it's part of the fees and charges. Lease and registration is there.
Okay.
I know it's something little. It's something little.
Something little for you to get your registration documents if you are a landlord. I'm going to move to the viewers right now. We have some questions, some comments for our guest today. All right, we have a comment. Hello, Metro TV. This is Emmanuel Ansari in Kumasi. Hello from Kumasi. I think President John Mahama is setting up this man to keep quiet because he's making lots of noise. That is just a comment. Okay, he said it's a good comment. All right, we have another question here. Good evening, Madam Host. Good evening. I love your show, and my name is Edem at Teshi Light Junction. Hello, Edem. Thank you for watching. I have so many questions for this man. Question number 1. You cannot record anyone without their consent. Before recording someone, you need to tell them why. Is that a law here in Ghana, that you cannot record anybody without their consent, Mr. Opoku?
Definitely. I don't think if I record, it's going to be secret. How can you record it secret? I don't know how you do the secret recording. Right? So I want to assure them that it's true. That it's not going to be like, because I'm talking to you. And if I record, the law says, don't do A, B, C, D. Okay, I need evidence to prove something. But if you want evidence to prove something, you must get evidence to prove. So you can't take the loose way of say the law says this. That is why you think that nobody can record you and prove that you have charges. So there won't be any way you can prove it. But be as it may. Even if it becomes critical, as indicated, now we are going to do the lease and registration. What about that as well? If it wasn't that, I said it then, I was not in rent control, right? Now, as part of the vision and what I want to carry out, register within 14 days. When you enter into any agreement with landlord and tenant, the law says within 14 days, register your tenancy. So if you don't register that one, we'll come after you.
Okay, so even if you do register it, it cannot say more than 6 months, and even the tenancy agreement is proof. And yes, you can get consent to record that conversation. Yes. Okay, the next question is he saying the tenancy agreement is not enough evidence that a landlord has taken or demanded more than 6 months rent advance? We just answered that.
Provided, I can tell you that 80% of the landlord don't give tenancy agreement. 80% of them don't even issue tenancy agreement, which in the first place is illegal.
Well, there you have it. So make sure you get tenancy agreement as proof of the demand. Question 3, how many working days do they need to solve a tenant and landlord issue?
I am bringing a lot of innovations. And trust me, we're going to look at mediation, mandatory mediation. Because if you go to court, we have court-connected ADR, even at education sector. So we want at least, some can be done even a day. When you want to use the mediation angle to support the adjudication, you can bring a case. Issues of rent and landlord is amenable to ADR. If it's amenable to ADR, it can take a day. There are issues shouldn't be 3 days or 4 days. You bring an issue there. There's a misunderstanding between you and your landlord, or you are indebted, or arrears. It's about sitting on the table and agreeing when maybe repayment can be done, or maybe putting it in a different way that will give some kind of freshness for people to also comply. So, Anna, one thing I can assure them is that rent control, it shouldn't take you more than 14 working days.
14 working days.
Working days.
Okay. You heard it, 14 working days. The next question, has he ever rented? If yes, did he ever get to experience a landlord who frustrated the living out of him? He has no idea.
That is why I'm saying that the law was not enforced.
He's saying, have you ever rented? Have you ever been frustrated by a landlord?
Yes, of course, I'm a tenant. That's why I was a tenant head. Hey, I'm a tenant. I'm a senior tenant.
He's
tenant.
a senior tenant. Okay.
Captain of all the tenants. Then.
Okay, sir. All right, next question. This is your regular guy, Al Hassan in Tamale. Hello, Al Hassan. When is the commissioner coming to Tamale? I want to take him to some landlords to show him how we are suffering here. Oh, boy.
So tell my brother that I'll be doing a duty tour. I really want to I want to visit the rent control offices across the country in the next few months, right? And trust me, we are resetting the agenda. And we will almost get to Tamale. But our people will feel and experience the people, the rent officers, doing the work. Not me. The work is not me. It's not Frederick Opoku. It's not the commissioner. It is our officers who are going to be empowered. As like I said, we are going to have the yellow. We are going to have the rent tax for the field inspectors.
Tell us again what the yellow is, sir. Make it very plain and
the
clear.
Yellow is it's going to be a rent tax force. We like you want to embark on any mission. Are you okay? It's important that you get people to help you to do the inspections. They are not going to do any harass you, but they have to come to you and see whether indeed the directive that came from the commissioner and rent control that register your tenancy or leases. Have you done it? We have to also we will be looking at the limit of your advance. Have you taken more than expected? If you have taken more than expected, the law says you cannot do that. So based on this, you realize that the field inspectors who are also going to dress yellow. That's why I say yellow.
So a question here, how can you ensure that the yellow will not take bribes?
Trust me, proper training. I am an advocate, and I know the implication of those things. As usual, sometimes you create opportunities for job creation, but people take advantage of it. But trust me, and read my lips. The yellow will be well catched. They are well trained, and that when you are caught doing that, which will put the systems in place that you can never track you well, be with you, because we have people who also look at you from afar. We put systems. We can't just recruit people and say do this and that. But trust me, that inspectors going home by home and inspecting is something that you don't have. You can't enforce anything. Because you can't have the police always following you. You must have people that you work with, that you can send them, go to this district, are you okay? Go to this, about this house and check. So if you know we are checking you, won't you comply?
Absolutely. So he's going to put the systems in place to ensure that there's no bribery or corruption within the rent control. So look out for the yellow as of June, July this year. We have another question. Kofi Asante here in Koforidia. Hello, Kofi. Congratulations to him, but does he have the funding to work?
You see, I believe that everything is not about government. We have partners. Is that not so? Do you know where I'm coming from? I'm from the civil society and this kind of non-governmental stance. And I don't believe that everything must be government. In fact, we have international entities who are ready to help you build systems, digitize your systems, and they will support you to do. So it's not about waiting for the government, right, only to come and support you to get it done. Trust me, we will put the necessary, things in place that will enable us to get that thing to do. I can assure you that we are not going to just sit down and look at government. That government has not brought money, so we cannot move. No, we will have source of what? Identifying resources, and that we do if it's needed. That we have to do. So it's not about sitting down to wait for government only, but you do the needful and ensure that at least we're able to do what is right.
Okay, I want to get through all these questions. We have Efia Kwachiwa in Suhum watching with my family. My husband is laughing because he says the big people who put you there are the same people who build to rent and won't allow you to have your way.
Trust me, I know President Mahama means why he brought a commissioner. President Mahama knows why he brought a commissioner. He's a principal president. He believes in whatever you want to do. Trust me, the law is no respecter of persons.
The law is no respecter of persons.
And they should listen to me again. The law is no respecter of persons. Trust me. No matter who your pedigree, if you flout the law, you'll be dealt with. Trust me.
Okay. Good evening. Please, if you rent a room to someone and for 5 years the person is not paying, he or she locks the door and you don't see the person, what do you do?
We call it abscondment. Abscondment means that the person is there, hide and seek, you can't see him. What you do is that go to rent control. There is a form you fill. They will help you fill it, prove that you are indeed the owner of the property. They will give you that form, go and post it over there for 14 days or so. And after that, they will go to the court and get permit of the court, and they will break loose the property and pack the properties out.
So there is protocol, there are procedures to follow. You want to do things the right way. All right, I am glad we have a rent commissioner now. Yeah. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
All you have stated, there is a rent control officer trying to make this happen in Takoradi, but he has been stopped by directors in the housing ministry. Please make all you have stated happen for us.
Yes, as I said, I am implementing the law. Okay? Look, I am implementing the law. Are you okay? If it's within the law I'm implementing, why would somebody stop me? I don't think it will happen. People should read my lips. Trust me and believe that with God on our side, we will do just what the law says. It's not about what somebody says somewhere want to stop you. If it's within the confines of the law, I have not acted against or contrary to the law, why would somebody stop you? Because I know the president knows why he brought a commissioner. He wants the law to work. And I'm going to just want to please the president and the people of this country as part of his vision to get laws work. The rent law must work. That's why he brought a commission after 63 years. So what should I fear if I have the backing of my president?
Well, there you have it, folks. We're wrapping up, and I want you in 30 seconds, Mr. Opoku. Final words for the show tonight. 30 seconds, and we're wrapping up.
My people, Ghanaian people, it has taken years, decades to have a commissioner. I know I'm here to enforce the law, but trust me, we are going to work together, not putting any force to get the thing done. As I said, we will engage you, know the issue, the problems, work together, and at the end of the day, you understand why you must do what you have to do. When you know what you have to do, you comply. So there won't be anything like difficulties or people I don't understand what have you. We will just take our time, educate the public, let everybody understand what the law says, so that you don't say that you are ignorant. When you know, I trust that everything will be smooth and you will achieve excellence by the grace of God and with the help of God, not by my power. I'm nobody, but with the power of God and the will of God, trust me, we will succeed. With the power and the will of God, we will succeed. Mr. Frederick Opoku, thank you so much for being on the Homeowner Show tonight. We look forward to seeing your great work in the coming months. Folks, that brings us to the end of the show this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Homeowner Show right here on Metro TV every Saturday at 6 p.m. We'll see you next week. We have some exciting guests that will be talking about exciting things. So stay tuned for next Saturday, 6 p.m. on the Homeowner Show.
More than 80% of global trade is carried by sea. Most of the products we consume daily travel through ports, making them a key link in the global supply chain. The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is committed to ensuring the enhancement, resilience and sustainability of port infrastructure and maritime trade. Get to know which vessel is bringing your goods, how much duty you are required to pay and how quickly you can clear your goods from the ports of Ghana. We ask the relevant questions and elicit responses from the appropriate authorities. We interact with you via our social media platforms and put your queries across to the expert. Iron Port shows this and every Sunday live on Measure TV at 5:30 p.m. Iron Port is proudly brought to you by and powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Iron Port, transparency in doing business and building nation.
This week on the KLPL show.
I didn't really plan to be in marketing, but I would say my story at Delta Paper Mill or Flora Tissues is a story that should inspire anybody. I want to make sure everything I touch turns out better than I found it. At that time, they had operated for 12 years with no marketing department.
My goodness.
People don't know that.
That's your magic touch there.
Put on Flora Tissues just came out of nowhere. You silenced my enemies. You put a smile on my face. Obviously. Yes, oh.
Amazing. We decided to give you a little surprise.
But the surprise is a big one.
The PL Show is brought to you by Kel Charcoal, Kel 360 and Kel Kids Toothpaste.
Kel, happy smile.
Benson Nana Yao Udru Ohene Boatin Richmond. It didn't Dawson, ladies and gentlemen. Funny Face is my guest tonight.
Brother. You know, at the points I didn't understand certain things. You know, I needed to be emotionally intelligent. You know, I love children. All my life, you can see somebody who dedicated his life for kids. And then God blessed him with twins, and he couldn't grow up with them. One mental person asked me,
oh my goodness.
When this person told me he has been there for 7 years. They me to one out of pain. I said, I was working hard. Yeah, they intend to a fight. Listen, they took me to Nima Cell. I spent 2 weeks there. They locked me. Oh, but I love your show.
Thank you so much.
I love the swag of it and everything.
I appreciate it.
Just close, you know what we do.